What's happening, YouTube? This is the One Great Ajax coming at you again with another pepper review. This week we have something very special. It's pretty rare. Definitely not the hottest pepper in the world, but freaking huge, man. This is the Helix Nebula HJ5 space pepper. They call it a space pepper because every year for over 30 years now, the Chinese government has been sending pepper seeds, mostly cayenne pepper seeds, up into space onto their space station and getting gamma radiation in them and trying to see what happens over time through generations of those seeds. Now, the Helix Nebula HJ5 is the second largest in the series. I believe the HJ6 Pulsar is supposed to be larger, but it's pretty crazy to think about because this is a cayenne, you know, but it's gotten absolutely monstrous. I mean, this thing is probably about 10 to 12 inches long and super meaty. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste it for you guys today, and I'm not gonna harvest seeds from this one. I'm just gonna hold out hope that we can get another couple of pods this year to get seeds from. But one interesting thing about this pepper is you get a lot of fruit end rot with this pepper. This was grown by my buddy Zach Moss. He's got a great track record of having very prolific plants. I actually built another box with him this year, and I mean, we have 7+ foot tall plants over the course of a 5-month season here in Virginia. So, I mean, the majority of his plants are just putting out pod after pod after pod that look like they have exactly what nutrients they need. Now, this particular pod has excessive blossom end rot, fruit end rot, whatever you want to call it, which would lead you to believe that there's a calcium deficiency or a nitrogen deficiency, something. Anyway, you don't get a lot off these. You get a lot of green pods. Don't get a lot of ripe pods. But here we have one perfectly ripe. You know, I saw Gotta Go Video, an OG, review one of these about 4 or 5 years ago, and I fell in love with it. I wanted to grow one of these, and then last year, one of the members in Chasing Capsaicin was so happy. I was so happy that they traded me some seeds. So we'll see what it tastes like, you guys, seeds and all. I have seen one of these gutted before, and I've taken a little sliver, like a little piece like this big. But, you know, you get a lot more out of it when you eat the whole pepper. Let's see what's happening. So there are seeds roughly like a third of the way up already. I've got a few seeds in my mouth. The other week with my buddy Ben, when we were de-seeding one of these, I think we got about 40 seeds out of one pod. Now, these are definitely, in my opinion, sweeter than a cayenne, but definitely not as hot as a cayenne. Like I said, I'm only really in the first third right now. Well, about through the first third. But I would put that at or below jalapeno so far. And it's funny, as I say that, my left nostril starts running. My right doesn't usually start running, but anyway, left nostril starts running, so there's heat present, but it's not very high, especially if you've eaten a ghost pepper or even a Bahamian goat or a Scotch bonnet or a habanero, anything like that. This is not going to be hard on you at all. Mm. Mm. Now that middle third, the heat is coming up a little bit. Interesting fact about peppers. Generally, the further you get from the apex, the hotter you're going to get. You can get up to the crown of the pepper and the calyx. The calyx is the residual of the flower. It's where the pod emerges from the flower. That part right up there at the top is generally the hottest part of the pepper. And also, about 80% of the heat inside of a pepper is generally found in the placenta. Now, if you look inside of here, we really don't have any placenta. We just have flesh and seeds. I mean, there's no white. There's red. This has a sweetness to it that is above the sweetness that's in a cayenne. There's also a little bit of a sourness that I'm really enjoying. This is a very tasty pepper, super meaty. This would be awesome for filling out a sauce, although I kind of feel like its value would be lost there. This is something that I feel like people would just want to try as the pepper. Maybe grill it up or, chunk it up and saute it, add it to a dish or something. Really, really, really tasty pod. I've got to say, the flavor reminds me a lot of a Brazilian starfish, although a Brazilian starfish is a little hotter than this. Even at this point, I would say it's about 5,000, something like that. But let's go ahead and finish it off. Right there at that top end, up near the crown. This is what I'm referring to. Let's see the crown or the calyx. Right up there at that end, I get a little bit of that peanuttiness that I so often associate with the cayenne. I love the peanuttiness of a cayenne. Anyway, you guys, I'm not going to waste too much of your time. We'll probably call it soon. I'm not going to do a 5-minute or afterburn or anything. Trust me, I'm not burning very much. That is a very mild pepper. Very good flavor. I would say if you're planning to cultivate this particular pod, go excessive on like flower and nutrients. Because, I mean, dude, Zach's garden this summer has looked incredible all the way through. This is pretty much the only plant that we're getting that blossom and rot on. I mean, they're huge meaty pods. They need a lot of nutrients. Probably the amount of nutrients that would burn other plants. Anyway, just my 2 cents. Super awesome pod. And, we did get a few of them this year, and hopefully we get some going next year, and we can maybe isolate them or do something like that. Anyway, love you, YouTube. Peace.